Hello and welcome to Caching Waves. This is an update on HBAR. I'm not going to do a larger term count on this video, just more so on the micro. But this is the larger shape we're looking for, which is a ending diagonal to finish up between 3 cents and 3.7 cents before attempting new highs. Now, first of all, there is an alternative, and that's where we just get a complex correction here, come up again, and then drop to the downside in 5 waves rather than a complex ending diagonal. And all that would be is a triangle where you get an A, B, C, D, E, and then we'd expect 5 waves after that. But as of right now, expecting just one move up and then drop off a cliff for our Y wave in the third. Again, that view can change just based on how the waves fill out, but as of right now, that's my primary count. I will do larger term views of most cryptos beginning of each month if you want to subscribe, and I can show you the bigger term views, but as of most videos during the month, we're just focused on the micro. So let's go down to the hourly. We are in this trade currently, but as of right now, I have a WXY for our first W wave of our third wave, and we're looking for the X to complete and then a Y wave after. We have double zigzag combinations here for this W wave. That's in red down there. Looking for a 3 wave X, and then we get our Y after. But just want to focus on this area here, which is this correction completing up. I want you to pay attention to this correction here for 1 second, and we'll zoom to the previous one so you can see kind of how I expect this to shape out. It's more of a fractal of the previous one. It should be a little smaller in time, but this is kind of the area we're at right now, right in this area. We've gotten our move up, we've gotten our sideways move, and we're just dragging down. We've actually made new lows, but we're getting to the area of interest for our next move to the upside. On this complex correction, we came to the 786 retracement of the first wave, and we filled out, so we can kind of use this to our advantage if we get something similar on the next wave. We came between the 1.236 and 382 extension of this first wave, which also coincided with the 50 and the 618 retracement of this first wave down, which is the first wave down of our first wave. So again, now let's go back to where we are currently, which is the first wave up in our correction here. So looking to complete similar, maybe a little bit down, come up, and then drop off a cliff, just like the previous fractal. So we've been in this trade for a little bit now, or I have been, I'm sorry. Just giving you full transparency of what I'm doing. This isn't financial advice at all. Make your own decisions. But as of right now, I got in at the 382, the 50, and have another buy at the 618 there. You can see in green. I take a third on each position size, and once I get my entry in the 618, it'll bring my average price down to the 50. But right now, between the 382 and the 50. Stop is at this low here. I know this can be frustrating when the market just drags on. Originally, I was expecting this to be the completed correction here, and we take off 4 or 5 waves after that. But whenever you get a 3-wave pattern, you just got to keep in mind it can just drag on. We get another ABC sideways pattern, and this whole pattern is just getting bigger in itself. The question is, do we finish in 3 or do we finish in 5? As we know, in the previous one, we came down to the 786. Now, there are some differences between exchanges because some exchanges didn't make this spike you see here. Some just came to this level. So it's hard to know, but as long as you stick to your trading method, which I always buy at the 382, 50, and the 618, that's my standard. So it doesn't get adjusted too much. I might add a little extra at the 786 since we did it previous, but not too much. just a better risk reward that low to my stop, right? But as of now, expecting this to complete within the next couple days. Again, don't get frustrated by this. It should turn soon. Are we going to get an ending diagonal in 5 waves? Or do we just drag down a little slower, and then this whole pattern just becomes some sort of complex zigzag pattern, WXY? A lot of new traders that get obsessed with the way the counts are sometimes never get into trades. I've done it myself early on, where you get something like this, and you're like, I need another 5th wave down. I need the 5th. I need 5 waves. And sometimes they never get their buy because they're just counting waves, not paying attention to fib levels, anything like that, and the market just takes off on them and they never get it. So don't get too obsessed with wave counts. Pay more attention to shapes, pay more attention to fib levels, fib extension targets getting hit. And what I use pretty often, you can see here too, I'm using one, is I use trend lines. So depending what type of reaction you get after a trend line breaks can be very telling. So we get those right on the pivots there. But for example, there's a big difference. Say if we come down here and we start to chop sideways and we break the trend line, where that can be a triangle and we get our 5th wave down as expected. But that's much different than coming down here and getting a spike up like this, starting to trend sideways, and still expecting another wave down. No, that's clearly going to be an impulse. You're getting a corrective move, and the next move's probably to the upside. So don't get too obsessed with counts. Pay more attention to shapes, trend line breaks, fib levels. Most Elliott Wave analysts will label things after the fact. That's why it's very difficult to do in real time if you're not experienced. So as of right now, in the long, have a buy set up right here as well. That's right at the 618 extension of this first wave down. We could come a little further, maybe even take the 1-to-1, but I am expecting that pretty significant move after the fact. We will get better targets once we have the actual pivot in. That's this extension here. I'm not sure where it's going to be. If it happened here at the 618 and the 618 extension, probably aim to take profit at the 1-to-1. If we come down to the 786, probably the 1.236 and 382, just like the previous one, because the 1-to-1 looks a little bit shy. As this move down, the retracement level is there between the 50 and the 618, which would make more sense to be in that area. So that's your update on HBAR, guys. We should get basically a nice move coming up within the next couple days. It'll be worth the wait, hopefully. But again, none of this is financial advice, just giving you full transparency of what I'm doing. All right, thanks for watching, guys.